The great thing about this aircraft is the B-25 Mitchell. And in 1941, we were bombed by Pearl Harbor. Everybody should know that. In April, I think it was April 12th, 1942, we wanted to send a message to Japan that we can get to you because we got hurt pretty bad in Pearl Harbor. So they concocted a plan to take 16 of these B-25s and put them on an aircraft carrier, sail it close to Japan so we would have enough fuel to get there, and they bombed Japan. 16 of these flew off aircraft here. None of the aircraft came back. Lost all the aircraft. They didn't have enough. They were discovered before they wanted to launch, so they'd have enough fuel to land in China. We only lost, I'm not positive, I think we only lost 7 people. The Chinese took them in, risked their lives to help our guys. One plane landed in Russia. To this day, we don't know where or what happened to that bomb. You don't realize about it until you get in it. It's like our little Corvette. It's very fast, very maneuverable. It'll do things that you couldn't imagine it'll do. So that is our hot rod. It's very expensive. It's probably, well, we're thinking around $3,000 an hour to maintain this plane. It burns about 75 gallons an hour, each engine. And it also burns each engine a gallon of oil. There are quite a few B-25s still flying. Okay. But most of the World War II aircraft were scrapped. Yeah, now we just think that this was in combat. It did 15 missions, and we think the reason why it survived was after it did its missions, they decided, well, we don't want the B-25s here anymore, so they shipped them back, this one back anyway, and they brought in, I think it was B-26s. After those 15 missions, it came home, and it was in pretty bad shape. When it got home, it became a sprayer, sprayed to kill fire ants in Texas. Okay. And it was in bad shape when we got it. It spent 27 years or 28 years restoring it. Like I said, this did 15 missions. We were in the Midwest somewhere. I'm not sure where, either Idaho or Wisconsin, I don't remember. But we had a gentleman come out, and this is the way it was. This is the number and everything was what it was when it was in combat. And he looked at it, and he's going, this. He went home, got his logbook, and he actually did one combat mission as a tail gunner in this very aircraft. So that, it was very cool. So, and another thing that we do is we have veterans that had some connection to this aircraft, either were a pilot or a mechanic on this aircraft, and they signed the bomb bay. You heard me talk about the Doolittle raid. It's called the Doolittle raid. Very famous raid. There's a movie called 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. Yeah, that's what this is about. That's what it was about. Tokyo raid off of the aircraft carrier. Well, I think there's 3 or 4 Doolittle raiders that have signed our bomb bay.
This type of airplane was part of the Doolittle raid. Type of airplane was what they used for the Doolittle raid, and we actually have 3 Doolittle raiders signatures in here. This is a museum in here. Here is a Rosie the Riveter. Her name was Betty. This airplane was made between these years in Kansas City. She very well could have worked on this particular airplane. This guy right here, he was a actual tail gunner on this airplane. This airplane actually saw combat. Here is, this was Jimmy Doolittle's co-pilot right here. And then we have Ed Saylor. He was on ship number 15, aircraft 15, and Thatcher. He was on airplane number 7 for the Doolittle raid.
Just so you know, this is the one that the lady in Grand Junction 2 years ago that signed it, and she was the finals inspector on this. She was 16 in the finals inspector.
Here is a Wasp right here and all the various aircraft that she flew. This is my dad right here. And this guy was a young man, lied about his age. He was 17, said he was 18. First thing he did when he got to Europe was the Normandy invasion on Utah Beach.
The B-25 could do just about anything, low-level strafing, guns, bombs. It was really good at that. This airplane, we could hold about 4,000 pounds bombs depending on the configuration and how many fit in the Bombay area. 12 guns on board, all 50 caliber. What I find amazing is we would put 18, 19, 20-year-old kids in this and they'd volunteer, and then we'd send them across the ocean and ask them to go fight. This airplane actually saw combat. It was built in Kansas City. To get it to Europe, they flew it down to Brazil, across the ocean to Africa, up over Africa, and then to Corsica. And that's where it was based. Did 15 missions there until it was replaced with the later aircraft.
You see that little eyepiece on the top of the black box? You can look down through there. You won't see much right now, but that's what you would look down. It looks forward, and that is how you can precisely drop the bombs, and you would control them up there.
These individuals, these young men, were so brave with what they did to go over there. I mean, a lot of them had never even left their county, and then here they are in Europe fighting.